Ευχαριστώ, κύριε Πρόεδρε. Ήθελα να πω ότι ένας από τους λόγους...
I wanted to say the following. Please put your headphones on, Mr. Barroso. One of the reasons why Greek citizens are so against what's happening in Greece at the moment, because there's no balance here when it comes from a social point of view and from an environmental point of view. There have been cuts to salaries and to pensions. There's been a lot of focus on that. But what's happening when it comes to the energy saving programs, we as Greens are saying that in contrast, the programs which you have presented, that we need to look at this, we need to have a third strategy. Now, I'd like to ask the following question. First of all, the conditions of the memorandum need to be adapted. In the crisis, it's important that we have a European answer. Secondly, we need a green investment plan for jobs. And thirdly, by 2016, we need to extend the amount of time available to adapt the budgetary plan.
Anna, that one regionalist have spoken there that we keep the equality in our group, please.
Sí, Galicia, yes. Continuamos na nossa...
Well, I'll speak in Portuguese. We understand each other perfectly well. Europe wants to live, it wants to produce, it wants to continue alive. I think the European cohesion funds are very important in this respect. Territorial funds, economic and social objectives are all important. In the European Parliament, many of us are extremely concerned by macroeconomic conditionality. There are cases such as those in Portugal where projects aren't being financed because they can't be co-financed by the member state. It's also important to have projects that are in all of our languages, such as our common language, Portuguese. Well, if I could just begin by responding to the last question there, I can say, well, Portuguese is a language of the European Union, and as such, I would say it has to be and should be used. I think it's very useful as a means of communication. Public consultation procedures, of course, will continue in all of the official languages as defined by the European Union's rules and regulations. This issue that you brought up, that member states are deciding which should be and which shouldn't be the languages of the European Union. Well, I defend the concept and the principle of multilingualism. Although, from time to time, we often have to use the lingua franca of the European Union, which, let's not forget, is also one of the European languages. Within the European Commission, we'll be making every effort to strengthen social and cohesion funds. That's something that the Commission has always been in favour of.
I speak Greek, yeah. Let's be honest about what's going on there. In the Commission, we know very well the difficulties, the extreme difficult circumstances in which the people of Greece are now living. At the same time, the Greek people should be aware that this is the result of some unsustainable policies. The European Union is trying to help with a program of loans, with structural funds, with technical assistance. I created a task force led by Horst Reichenbach, and with a very important group of people, most of them from the Commission, but also coming from member states, for technical assistance, because there are some problems of the implementation capacity in the administration in Greece. This is the reality. Now, we are ready to work with our Greek partners in terms of seeing what we can do more in terms of growth-enhancing measures. I've already stated it, and I can restate it again. But frankly, it is not by putting in question now the commitments already taken. And this is important to be also known in Greece. Because I don't see any possibility, when I consider the euro area of the 17 member states, of changing the commitments taken. And this is important for the Greek people to understand, because if there is this illusion that it can happen, I think it's a mistake. What we can do, and certainly the Commission will be in favor of that, is in the respect of the commitments taken to see what more we can do to support growth, including, of course, green growth. By the way, this is a moment where probably Greece, part of the response of the problem of Greece could come from a more sustainable green type growth, because it's more effective in terms of resource, it is more economic, and Greece has a lot to give, not only to Greece, but to the rest of Europe, from the solar energy to many other sources of natural energy. So I really believe this is part of the answer, and we are going to work, hopefully, with the new authorities of Greece after the elections in that direction.
Mr. President, we have a letter for you. You don't have to answer, but you have to get it.
Yes, okay. It's a letter on I think, a problem with which is a shame for Europe if we do not intervene. Mm-hmm. So the health sector in Greece is close to collapse. People in a very, very bad situation, suffering from cancer, lying on the death already, are not getting the treatment they deserve. Even the remedies are not anymore available. And I think this is going too far. We have written it down as far as we can judge on it. I think it's high time that the European Union also shows empathy for that, what's going on there.
Thank you very much. I will reply to it. Okay, thank you very much.
We thank you. Thank you very much. On vous téléphone, hein? Ok. Ciao.
Okay.